हेलो एस्पायरेंट्स, कैसे हैं आप सब लोग। उम्मीद करता हूँ अच्छे ही होंगे। आज हम अपने MCQ सीरीज़ का नेक्स्ट पार्ट लेकर आए हैं, जिसमें हम फिज़िक्स सब्जेक्ट से 50 MCQs को कवर करेंगे। ओके, ये MCQs बहुत सारे एग्ज़ाम्स में आपके लिए काफ़ी ज़्यादा हेल्पफुल होने वाले हैं। आप लोगों को ध्यान से इन MCQs को देखना है। उसके साथ साथ आप इन MCQs को अटेम्प्ट कर सकते हो और इन द एंड क्या आपका स्कोर रहा है, उस स्कोर को आप कमेंट में मुझे बता सकते हो। ठीक है, बिना कोई टाइम वेस्ट किए हम अपने MCQs स्टार्ट करते हैं। अप टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 1। हमारा क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 है, अ लिक्विड रिमेन्स हॉट और कोल्ड for a long time in thermos flask because there is no loss or gain of heat by option A conduction, option B convection and radiation, option C both A and B, या फिर option D none of the above. And the correct option is option C both A and B. Our next question is, which one of the following is not an electromagnetic wave? Option A light wave, option B radio wave, option C sound wave, या फिर option D microwave. And the correct option is option C sound wave. Our next question is, brilliance of diamond is due to option A interference of light, option B diffraction of light, option C polarization of light, या फिर option D total internal reflection of light. And the correct option is option D, that is total internal reflection of light. Our next question is, rate of evaporation increases with option A an increase of surface area, option B an increase in humidity, option C a decrease in wind speed, या फिर option D a decrease of temperature. And the correct option is option A an increase of surface area. Our next question is, a fuse wire must be option A conducting and of low melting point, option B conducting and of high melting point, option C insulator and of high melting point, या फिर option D insulator and of low melting point. And the correct option is option A conducting and of low melting point. Our next question is, which one of the following processes is not a part of long wave radiation? Option A conduction, option B scattering, option C convection, या फिर option D radiation. And the correct option is option B scattering. Our next question is, which one of the following can extinguish fire more quickly? Option A cold water, option B boiling water, option C hot water, या फिर option D ice. And the correct option is option B boiling water. Our next question is, the frequency of ultrasound waves is option A less than 20 Hz, option B between 20 Hz and 2 kHz, option C between 2 kHz and 20 kHz, या फिर option D greater than 20 kHz. And the correct option is option D, that is greater than 20 kHz. Our next question is, with the rise of temperature the viscosity of liquid, option A increases, option B decreases, option C remains unchanged, या फिर option D may increase or decrease depending on nature of liquid. And the correct option is option B, that is decreases. Our next question is, transfer of heat by convection can take place in option A solids and liquids, option B solids and vacuum, option C gases and liquids, या फिर option D vacuum and gases. And our correct option is option C, that is gases and liquids. Our next question is, A mobile phone charger is option A, an inverter, option B, a UPS, option C, a step up transformer, या फिर option D, a step down transformer. And the correct option is option D, a step down transformer. Our next question is, for which one of the following does the center of mass lie outside the body? Option A, a fountain pen, option B, a cricket ball, option C, a ring, या फिर option D, a book. And the correct option is option C, a ring. Our next question is, a person is standing on a frictionless horizontal ground. How can he move by a certain distance on this ground? Option A, by sneezing, option B, by jumping, option C, by running, या फिर option D, by rolling. And the correct option is option A, by sneezing. Our next question is, what is the minimum distance in meters required to hear an echo? Option A, 10 meters, option B, 13 meters, option C, 17 meters, या फिर option D, 21 meters. And the correct option is option C, 17 meters. Our next question is, soap bubble attains spherical shape due to option A, inertia, option B, pressure, option C, surface tension, या फिर option D, viscosity. And the correct option is option C, surface tension. Our next question is, on which principle does the hydraulic lift works? Option A, Newton's law, option B, Pascal's law, option C, Archimedes law, या फिर option D, Joule's law. And the correct option is option B, Pascal's law. Our next question is, the passage of an electric current through a conducting liquid causes option A, galvanization, option B, evaporation, option C, physical reaction, या फिर option D, chemical reaction. And the correct option is option D, chemical reaction. Our next question is, an image formed by a concave mirror on a screen is called option A, virtual image, option B, real image, option C, inverted image, या फिर option D, erect image. And the correct option is option B, real image. Next question is, which one of the following devices changes low voltage alternating current to high voltage alternating current and vice versa? Option A, generator, option B, motor, option C, transformer, या फिर option D, capacitor. And the correct option is option C, transformer. Our next question is, radioactivity is measured by option A, GM counter, option B, polarimeter, option C, calorimeter, या फिर option D, calorimeter. And the correct option is option A, GM counter. Next question is, which one among the following waves carries the maximum energy per photon? Option A, X-ray, option B, radio waves, option C, light waves, या फिर option D, microwaves. And the correct option is option A, X-rays. Now our next question is, a rainbow is produced due to which one of the following phenomena? Option A, dispersion of light, option B, interference of light, option C, diffraction of light, या फिर option D, scattering of light by atmospheric dust. And the correct option is option A, dispersion of light. Our next question is, water rises up a capillary tube because of option A, elasticity, option B, surface tension, option C, viscosity, या फिर option D, its density. And the correct option is option B, surface tension. Our next question is, which one of the following physical quantities has the same dimensions as that of Planck's constant? Option A, linear momentum, option B, angular momentum, ऑप्शन सी फोर्स या फिर ऑप्शन डी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. एंड द करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज ऑप्शन ए लीनियर मोमेंटम. Now the next question is, which one of the following is not a form of stored energy? Option A nuclear energy, option B potential energy, option C electrical energy या फिर option D chemical energy. And the correct option is option A nuclear energy. Now the next question is, at the time of short circuit, the current in the circuit, option A reduces substantially, option B does not change, option C increases heavily या फिर option D vary continuously. And the correct option is option C increases heavily. Now the next question is, which one of the following proposed that atom is indivisible? Option A Dalton, option B Berzelius, option C Rutherford या फिर option D Avogadro. And the correct option is option A Dalton. Next question is, which one of the following physical quantities is the same for molecules of all gases at a given temperature? Option A speed, option B mass, option C kinetic energy या फिर option D momentum. And the correct option is option C kinetic energy. Now our next question is, the purpose of chalk in a fluorescent lamp is option A to increase the current flow, option B to decrease the voltage momentarily, option C to decrease the resistance या फिर option D to decrease the current flow. And the correct option is option D to decrease the current flow. The next question is, the basic unit of biosystematics is option A fluorotype, option B genotype, option C phenotype या फिर option D ecotype. And the correct option is option C phenotype. Now the next question is, certain substances lose their electrical resistance completely at super low temperature. Such substances are called option A superconductors, option B semiconductors, option C dielectrics या फिर option D perfect conductors. And the correct option is option A superconductors. Now the next question is, relative humidity is expressed as option A grams, option B kilograms, option C percentage या फिर option D ratio. And the correct option is option C percentage. Now the next question is, superconductivity is option A very feeble current, option B very large current, option C current without facing any resistance या फिर option D current due to positive particles. And the correct option is option C, that is current without facing any resistance. Now the next question is, Venn digraph generator is used for option A accelerating charged particles, option B generating large currents, option C generating electric field या फिर option D generating high frequency voltage. And the correct option is option A, that is accelerating charged particles. Now the next question is, the linear expansion of a solid rod is independent of its option A initial length, option B material, option C increase in temperature या फिर option D time of heat flow. And the correct option is option D, that is time of heat flow. The next question is, a simple machine cannot option A multiply force, option B multiply speed, option C multiply work या फिर option D change the direction of applied force. And the correct option is option C, that is multiply work. Next question is, photoelectric effect is option A an instantaneous process, option B delayed process, option C emission of protons या फिर option D emission of neutrons. And the correct option is option A an instantaneous process. Now the next question is, the weight of an object may be assigned by using Newton's, option A, first law of motion, option B, second law of motion, option C, third law of motion, या फिर option D, laws of gravitation. And the correct option is option D, laws of gravitation. The next question is, a body which is a good absorber of heat is also a good reflector, option B, cannot be predicted, option C, good radiator, या फिर option D, bad radiator. And the correct option is option C, that is good radiator. The next question is, an ice ball floats in a water tank. When the ice melts, the water level will, option A, not change, option B, rise, option C, fall down, या फिर option D, none of these. And the correct option is option A, not change. Now the next question is, which of the following is good nuclear fuel? Option A, uranium-238, option B, neptunium-239, option C, thorium-236, या फिर option D, plutonium-239. And the correct option is option D, plutonium-239. The next question is, the mass energy relation is the outcome of, option A, quantum theory, option B, general theory of relativity, option C, field theory of energy, or option D, special theory of relativity. And the correct option is option D, special theory of relativity. The next question is, aviation fuel for jet aeroplanes consists of purified, option A, petrol, option B, kerosene, option C, gasoline, या फिर option D, diesel. And the correct option is option B, kerosene. The next question is, of the following, the one representing a physical change is the, option A, rusting of iron, option B, freezing of water, option C, burning of coal, या फिर option D, souring of cream. And the correct option is option B, freezing of water. Next question is, air pockets that caused aircrafts to lose altitude suddenly are caused by, option A, dense cloud cover, option B, poor visibility, option C, temperature inversions, या फिर option D, intense low pressure in valleys that suck in air. And the correct option is option C, temperature inversions. Now the next question is, a lighted candle gets extinguished when covered with a tumbler because of, option A, adequate supply of air, option B, inadequate supply of air, option C, presence of non-luminous matter, या फिर option D, none of the above. And the correct option is option B, inadequate supply of air. Now the next question is, the weight of an object would be minimum when it is placed, option A, at the equator, option B, at the North Pole, option C, at the South Pole, या फिर option D, at the center of the earth. And the correct option is option D, at the center of the earth. The next question is, when an open bottle of scent is kept in a corner of the room, its odor is felt in all the corners. This is due to the phenomena of, option A, vaporization, option B, evaporation, option C, diffusion, या फिर option D, sublimation. And the correct option is option C, diffusion. Now the next question is, with which of the following instruments can a sailor in a submarine see the objects of the surface of sea? Option A, periscope, option B, telescope, option C, gyroscope, या फिर option D, stereoscope. And the correct option is option A, periscope. Now the last question of this series, the hydraulic brakes used in automobiles is a direct application of, option A, Archimedes principle, option B, Torricellian principle, option C, Bernoulli's theorem, या फिर option D, Pascal's law. And the correct option is option D, Pascal's law. Now this ends this series of set of MCQs. Now we will keep continuing delivering these types of multiple series of MCQs, which will be very helpful for you guys in the preparation of your competitive exams. Just keep supporting me, guys. Kindly share this channel to your friends and to your colleagues, and also like these videos and comments all your efforts and comments your scores and comments the way in which I can make these videos much better for you.